Now we're ready.
Hello, welcome back everyone to session 54 of our Pathfinder 2nd Edition campaign. How's everyone doing? Good.
Yeah, I
Good,
forgot.
thanks.
I'm
Sorry,
good.
what is this we're playing? I can't remember. It's
I
been
thought it
it's
was
been too
D&D.
long.
It's D&D exactly. It is D&D to 2nd Edition. No, it's not. So
Just
all right,
getting a lot.
well,
It's just 2E, but we're getting a lot of rules wrong.
it's just a very yeah. It's just very homebrewed too. So if everyone's ready, we'll just get straight into it, shall we?
Yeah.
I've got some music for our session, so here we go. So last we left off,
Oh,
the party. Where are we? Yeah. So last we left off, the party just arrived in Port Edron, and had spoken to Don Iden about setting up a heist, if everyone remembers. Did you go and spend the night on the boat? Is that where we were?
Yeah, and I think so. I brought 3 spells, and I just need to roll to put them in my spell book before we start.
Oh yeah, go on.
I'm just gonna get the. If you just carry on, and I'll just do it.
it's gonna be Sly Cooper vibes.
I know what to do once I get everything up. Okay.
On the way to the boat, I would like to maybe go via maybe a library or something and pick up a book on like fuses.
Fuses.
Like try and look into fuses with a goal to maybe see if I can create some kind of remote fuse to attach to these gunpowder things.
Okay. What do you need? What do you need to do for that?
I don't know.
Okay. So
I'm not sure that it's a thing. I'm just seeing if it is a thing that I can do with.
what's your goal with it? Just to have something that can you can just have a fuse for like a minute or something.
Yeah. So if we had like ideally, if this artifact is that shrinks things down is powerful enough that we can basically shrink down all the kegs.
Yeah.
That we might be able to like plant them in strategic positions and then, hit a button and they all go off.
So
Okay.
turn the kegs into C4.
With remote detonators.
The remote detonator part is going to be hard to do.
Yeah.
You'll be able to design that. I'm sure you'll be able to craft some gadget. But
Yeah, that's the ideal.
all right. What
solution,
I'll do. Okay.
but-
So over the next day. So let's go to the 8th
Oh.
day.
Damn it.
Oh, sorry, wrong month. So all right. So in the morning of the 8th day, first off, you go off and start collecting stuff to make that. So make me a
Crafting?
craft. Well, it'd be a crafting check to make the thing, but you'll be able to find. Yeah, you'll just be able to find the stuff. I'll say that. Let's think. To make a bunch of fuses and stuff, it won't be more than like 5 gold, I'd say, to get all that stuff together. How many barrels have you got? Do you remember now? So we've got. I can't remember if I put it on the ship supplies.
I'm not sure.
I'll say
It
100
was on-
barrels.
Oh, okay.
Oh, my food's done. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I'll say there's 100 kegs down there, in the ship. So if you're gonna get 100 fuses and stuff, yeah, let's say 5.
Oh, hello? Oh, have I... Oh,
For
I
the
think- oh, sorry, I think disconnected from Discord for a second there.
That's
Oh,
so did
sorry.
I.
Yeah, I think Discord's been a bit funny today.
Yeah, if it does it again, we can maybe server migrate.
Yeah, that's cool.
So did you say it was 5 gold? Do you say it was 5 gold for all of them?
Yeah, 5 gold for the stuff to make the remote detonator and the fuses.
Okay, cool.
Fuses are cheap. Like this is Port
Yeah, just
Edron.
straight
You know,
right.
they're gonna have. Yeah, I mean they've got cannons all over the place. It's basically strung with a bit of tar around it. Let me go on the GM screen and find a reasonable.
Assuming it'd just be like a spool.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll say that this is an expert task to make the detonator like this. So that'll be DC 20.
Okay. Let me just check my assurance.
Are you proficient? Are you at least proficient in crafting?
I'm a master in crafting.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
So yeah, I can just do... If I do assurance, then the result will just be 10 plus... 10 plus... Is that 17?
Okay.
Also,
So
sorry
yeah, I
to
think I
interrupt.
can just 17 off the bat.
Okay, that's cool. What's up, Hanok?
I know this is kind of ironic, but how do you spell confusion? Because I'm trying to type it in, but I can't find it.
CONFUSION.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
No problem. Is it still not there?
No, I think maybe it's not in my spellbook. Yeah, I feel like it isn't an arcane spell. Don't worry.
I've got it on the compendium list. Yeah. Do you want me to add it to your list?
No, it's okay. I haven't rolled for it yet. I'm just trying to. Don't worry. I was just.
Okay.
Okay, I found it. Thank
That's
you.
all right. Okay. So where were we? What did you roll? 27. Oh yeah, that's fine. So I'll say that takes you a day. You can just like work that together over the day. You find like a little little crystal in one of the stalls that when hit with like a piece of iron, it just gives off a spark, and you set up a little spring, and then you sort of set up a little mechanism that relies on releasing the spring, causing the spark to start the fuses. Is there anything else anyone wants to do? John Iden said that he wishes to meet you today.
Well, I think we can do that unless people don't have anything else.
Yeah.
Actually, no. I want to avoid him at all costs, just to spite him. Nah, it's
I did want to. I think didn't we want to see the merchant prince as well at some point?
Yes, I think John Iden wants to probably speak to you before you go see Axel's Kutspan, but
sure.
Yeah, he was sort of insinuating that just to keep it on the down low for now.
What, on the down low?
This potential mission, yeah.
Oh, interesting. I suppose the courtier's around and can't just...
Yeah, it's one of those things that he doesn't necessarily want you just telling everyone for now. Okay, so at some point during the day, once you've all gotten up and met, you make your way off the boat, past the docks, and past the Red Keep through the main marketplace, arriving back once again at Don Iden's office, not being let in by his assistant. He leads you. You're led into his office, and he greets you. Welcome back, all. So, did you have a think about what we talked about? Are you on board?
Nice one. I think so, yeah.
Nice, so well. Well, I think it is one of those things that it would scare the hell out of me. Well, it does scare the hell out of me. I don't quite know if you want me to come yet.
I think it's probably not a good idea to have someone like yourself along for the ride.
too important.
That makes sense. Well, I had a little look around for some information around the archives. There was a magister who used to live here. His name was Magister Torren. He was the architect of the Gold Bank of Imiana. I had a look at some of his notes. I was hoping to find blueprints, but aside from a few sketches, they all seem to have gone with him. He now lives in Imiana. But I did find this, and he produces a kind of notebook, just filled with descriptions and sort of notes, just for the architect himself to look at. Mm-hmm. He says, I have some questions then. First of all, what do you know about the Bank of Imiana so far?
It's a big bank.
Why,
Yes.
why was that location chosen to be the location for the bank?
Well, the the Gold Bank of Imiana is built on a pre-existing temple, which was designed by the previous Sidon inhabitants. Imiana was the only major city that was on that island when we took it over, and the Sidon population were soon expelled after it was given to the banking guild. They, as you know, probably from your experience, all the temples were made from Sidon whitestone, which is magically crafted to be incredibly strong and difficult to mine through. So when Imiana was taken over and gifted to the banking guild, they began the process of creating a huge mound of earth over the temple, and they used it as their vault core. The reason why they chose Imiana was because it is hard to get to. It is an island. We have always had the powerful navy. If we were going to keep our things and we don't want anyone to take it over, it's best to put it there.
I see.
Unrelated.
Yes.
What is it with the human obsession of just building things on Sidon holy places?
Unholy or holy?
Either. Like, there was that whole thing in the other city. The name escapes me. It's the other
Or
port
Curious?
city. Yeah, Kelris.
Well,
There was
Curious.
that.
Well, it's this. All these cities were made by the elves originally. It wasn't us who made them. We just took them over.
And then you buried them in earth or occupied them.
Yeah, if they didn't leave. But the banking guild had a large influence on taking over that island. It was gifted to them for their help. So, he lays out a couple of the notes and says, so the Gold Bank of Imiana is a tower, kind of a fortress keep, surrounded by a wall, a fortress wall. It sits at the highest point of the city of Imiano. It can look all around. The bay is a short walk away, but it comes in 12 floors, if you're counting the vault in the basement. Well, if you're not counting those, I guess. So in the ground floor, so this is some information about what's on the. I'll do this here. So these are the sort of rooms that are found in the bank, and what to expect.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so where are we? So I have some questions just to kind of, I guess, work out what your plan is on this. I've been trying to get a crew together from the Adventuring Guild to come along. They're all mostly good sailors. And
So
now,
you reckon-
and
Do you reckon we can populate that boat with fully?
yes, we can with the guild's finest.
Oh, that's good to hear. I was a bit worried we were going to just be bringing a bunch of people that, if shit went down, would just get massacred.
No, it's most of the guild, which is why I was asking whether I should come along or not. I have a contact in Imiana who will help us will help you get into the vault. He has a mold of the Sea Lord of the Banking Guild's key, which is one of the 2 keys that's required to get into the vault.
Is that 2 simultaneously?
Yes.
Right.
What's the other key?
It's in the possession of Elise Farrankar, the leader of the Banking Guild. She herself, I'm not sure where she keeps that. It'll probably be in her private quarters, but if someone is disguising themselves as Don Marine, there's a chance that you'll be able to get in. All you need to do is make a mold of it. You don't need to steal the key.
That's where I come in. That's what, at least, I think was my whole deal with this.
Yeah. My contact also knows where Magister Torren is in Imyana. That is the architect of the Gold Bank. So if you wish, he can lead you to Magister Torren as well if you need more information about the bank itself. We'll go over a little bit about more of the details about what I know of the bank in a bit, but just it's maybe worth having a think about whether you want to do that as well.
This you said the temple that made the like the main vault. It was originally Sidon Temple.
Yes.
Any idea where the Sidon that ran that might have fled off to?
Probably back to Akate. The banking guild were very thorough in their deportations, which is what started. I mean, that's what started the initial conflict between us and them. We first landed in Imyana all those years ago, and then we came and landed on Rodrana, and that's when the elves sent their fleet to try and fight us.
When we were last in Potaron, we came across a worship shrine for some goings on. The Pentasta. Was it 5-star type thing?
There was a six. There was a
Six-
six-pointed
six-pointed
star that
one,
you
sorry.
saw. The Pentasta is 5.
Sorry,
pointed.
that's the five gold.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's the 6-pointed star. And are you sure this is all there is to this location? I have the feeling there is a lot more going on in this island than maybe perhaps even the people who work there know.
Well, we know for sure that the Magisterium are involved in dark rituals and worshipping some god which is not part of the Pentasta.
A 6th member of the Pentasta.
Well, they have added a 6th one,
Yes.
A shad?
which is
Or it might be a post of Pentasta full stop.
That ends like now.
Could be a shad.
if you can find any more. I mean, whilst you're there, the Magisterium is obviously quite a distance. He pulls out a map and puts it down on the table.
Oh, no vision.
Oh, sorry, hang on.
There we go.
So obviously this is Imyana here. The Magisterium is down here. I mean, the chances of you being able to get there and do anything there, that is a decision of your own to make. You are granted. So I spoke with Axos Kutaban in secret this morning. You are granted full stead to do whatever you desire on this mission. Whatever you can bring back to us, whatever information you can get, will all be of importance.
What about Trade the Merchant King himself?
What did you say? Betray?
No, I did not say that. To bring him in trade. It was a jest. He said he gave us full reign to do what we wish. I was just testing the limits.
I see. Yes. Well, whatever you can do that will help us.
I mean, well, you joke, but now obviously I'm not suggesting we actually bring Axos, but we could bring someone that looks an awful lot like him.
Are you suggesting disguising one of your crewmates or your party as Axos Kutaban?
Maybe.
I feel like the disguise
Not sure to
would
what
be
end.
Pretty quick to wear off.
Yeah. Not sure to what end it would actually be as well, but
It would create a great degree of suspicion. I wonder if our approach should be a little more benign.
Well, you can disguise me.
I don't think you look particularly like Axos Kutaban.
I mean that's what the disguise is for, right?
Yeah, it's a disguise.
He's also a man.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I thought the spell. Wait, were you not talking about the spell?
You can disguise yourselves as whoever you like. I mean, you'll probably want to disguise yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure we will.
You don't want to be recognized.
Is there any way onto the island beforehand? I mean,
Well, this is
probably
another
not.
question. I mean, Dolphin's Bay over here. That is where a lot of ships are moored. That is a short walk. I mean, it's not a short walk. It's 6 miles to Imiana.
I wonder if a couple of people could go that way. It's best not to put all of our eggs in a basket.
Well, this is the issue that if you are caught in Imiana, you will still have to leave with your boat. It's a lot. It's not very fast to get moving. But yeah, have a think about that maybe. I mean, what do you suggest?
Yeah,
Parking in
I need-
Imiana? Mooring, I guess. Mooring.
You know, weirdly, I feel like that would draw the least suspicion. That's where we're expected, right?
That would make the most sense. You'd have to
Yeah.
come up with some excuse for why you've decided there's more somewhere else.
I should also think it's worth mentioning the doom of many a thief is to try and do everything at the same time. If we can stab Tharinkar a bunch, that would be pleasant. Not for her, but that should only be an if we can get away with it. I don't feel comfortable trying to do everything at the same time. I think that would just get us caught.
Well, we
I
should talk
think-
about then how the vault system works. He flips to a page in the diary. Magister Torren says here that there are a number of different. Well, so the Grand Vault has a door, right, on the outside. There's the inner vault and the outer vault, and there's 2 doors. Once the outer door is open, it only remains open for 30 seconds, and that door is controlled by a security room. Rely on someone outside the vault to be able to let them back out.
Mike, can you just say that again? Sorry.
So in the security room outside of the vault door is where the 2 keys come into place. 2 keys need to be entered at the same time, and then the vault door will open. Right? That door is automatically rigged to only open for 30 seconds. And then after it closes, it stays closed for 5 minutes. Okay?
Right, so
It,
the door opens.
so that's
the door opens for 30 seconds, and then it will close regardless of what you're going to do.
Yeah. It automatically closes after 30 seconds, and then it stays closed and cannot be reopened for 5 minutes.
Right, so we've got 2 choices then. We either need to get in and out in 30 seconds, or be
Well-
able to hold that security room for 5 minutes.
So this is only the first part.
Yeah.
So that opens to a security corridor, where there's an internal security team. They need to be dealt with. There is a ventilation system within the bank's vault that can be hijacked if you were to put in a sleep powder or something. That will knock out the internal security team. Obviously, whoever goes into the vault is going to have some method of not being affected by that. Alternatively, I mean, you could attempt to fight them as well inside. It's unclear. I don't know how strong they'll be. Or you can attempt to try and go past their noses. If you're disguised as a powerful merchant, or at least Tharinkar or Don Marine, perhaps you could get past them that way. So there's that security team on the inside of the vault. And then there's then after them is the internal vault door, and that leads down to the inner core, like the vault core.
So at each step, we would have to, in a sense, have to reduce our number.
Well, there will have to be at least 2 people in the security room, the outdoor security room, because you need 2 people to open the door
keys.
after 5 minutes.
Okay.
And then inside there is a final kind of security. There's that final security checkpoint. They have lights which can be inputted to open the vault door, the inner vault door. So the outer security and the inner security both have a light, and once basically you put in the color of that light. So you'll have to be in contact with the person on the outside and the inside. So whether that's a message spell or whether that's you're passing a message across, or once those vault doors close, it's going to be hard to communicate because no sound will get out. Those security teams will use something like a message spell or sending.
Speaking of a message spell, which is exactly what I was going to ask next, the spell Telepathic Bond.
Yeah.
It's an uncommon level 5 spell. Would I be able to buy that here?
Level 5? Yeah, you can buy level 5. Oh, a level 5 spell.
It's uncommon.
I mean, we do just have our little pins, right?
Do we?
Yeah. The ones that Lorandon gave us.
Yeah.
Oh
you've got that.
yeah. Okay, well, okay. It's uncommon. I'm still gonna ask about it. It's an uncommon spell. Would I be able to get it here? So it'll be a level 10 because it's a level 5 spell. No, level 9.
Hang on just a second. Level 9, level 9, so wait. It's level 10 because it's a level 5 spell. Or level 9.
Level 9.
Do me a society check. DC 20.
That's 3.
Then sure. I'll
Okay, cool. Now I have to actually try and put it in my spellbook. Ah! Okay, I'll try again in a week.
That's alright. So John Iden says, yes, so you'll need to know the colours of both lights, of both lanterns, to open the vault door which goes into the inner core. And then after that, you've got the staircase at the end of a short corridor. That corridor has a certain path you have to walk down the corridor. Now that path has changed every day, and there's only a couple of people who know about it. There's one of those people will be inside the vault. So one of the internal security team will know. But not all of them. So be careful who you kill. But other people who will know will be people like Elise Farronkar, and probably some high-ranking merchants higher up in the bank.
I imagine she would have the thing in her private quarters, right? The path.
Yes. Well, they have a meeting every morning where they set this new path. If you take the wrong move, if you go the wrong direction, or it uses beams of light basically to determine whether you've gone the wrong way. There is an automatic incineration system as part of it.
Oh.
Would
Okay.
Would Don Marine have access to that meeting?
Don Marine, he is highly ranked, but he doesn't necessarily have doings with the inner workings of the banking guild and the bank itself. He may do. I'm not sure.
Do
you have
hired a
any?
druid?
Oh, wait, one at a time. Sorry, Cascus, what did you say?
We hired a druid or something?
A druid for what?
Well, they can turn into small little creatures. They can sit in the room and tell us what the code is.
Well, I can also. Funny that you mentioned that. I brought the pest form spell.
Wonderful. I think that
So,
sounds like a easy
I can turn
solution.
to a mouse or something. I haven't actually read it yet, but I assume that's what it did. It was cheap, so I thought it'd be helpful.
Very well. Once you've left, by the way, I won't be able to remind you about any of this stuff, so just make sure you're
Taking
keeping
copious
notes on
notes.
this.
Hmm.
So the code to open the door involving the light.
Oh, hello.
Right, by the way.
Oh,
You
I
cut
think-
out.
Yeah, you cut out. I'm just gonna see if we can do a server migration.
Oh,
Am I able to? Am I able
I'm
to
not
do
even
it
sure.
on here? Oh, I don't think I have permission.
I'll do it. Server is in server settings, right?
Should be.
Oh, I don't. Can you even do it anymore? I think they might have got rid of it.
I don't know.
Ba-dum-bum. Ba-dum-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-dum-ba-dum.
I'll just lower the bitrate a bit. Is that okay?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure it'll help because it's just outright cutting out for
Oh,
a
is it?
few seconds. It's not like going low quality.
I don't know if I remember them. I remember hearing about them getting rid of that.
Yeah, I can't find it on the other channel, the other Discord.
It might be something you have to pay for, which is
Maybe.
probably the worst thing ever.
Well, I guess we're just stuck with it then. What were you saying?
The codes that you enter with the lights. That is the outside is on the left. The outside security room is the left, and the inside security room is the right. By the way.
One more time.
the-
Inside.
So there's two security rooms. There's the one outside the vault, and then there's one inside
Yeah.
the vault between the two
Okay.
doors. They've got lights in there that sort of tell the color to open the inner vault door. One is the right. Basically, there's two colors you have to enter, and make sure you get the right ones.
This meeting where they decide the path, do we have a list of names of people who would be privy to that meeting?
So the only people that I'm aware of is it'll be Elise Farrankar. Don Marine could go to that meeting if he wished. I'm sure. Might be a potential idea.
Would it not make more sense to
There's Magister Toran as well.
deposit pest form Henira onto Magister Toran or at least Farinka in some way?
Well, I mean, if Torren's allowed to just go in, then that could be it, right? But he was our contact, right?
No, Magister Toran isn't your
Right.
contact.
Oh,
he's
sorry.
he's the architect of
Oh
the
shit!
bank.
I got the people mixed up.
Yeah, no, the contact will remain nameless for now, just in case.
Okay.
Curious.
So I mean, so there's the security room outside the vault. I mean, who wants to go in that one? Because you need at least two people there.
Well, it sounds like I am not going to be of great use inside. It would be useful if we have somebody who can communicate within, and maybe myself out there. I think I would perhaps persuade people who came along to turn the other way.
There will probably require some level of bullshittery.
Oh, yeah.
That is perfect for me.
And then who
And-
else?
I would probably be needed in the vault, considering.
I think it depends how we plan to get back out, right?
Well, I can just, magic out.
Can you?
You magic everyone out?
No.
Well.
I would have said everyone.
These
Very
vault
clear, it's just me.
these vault doors, do they have any protections from teleportation or anything?
So the whites, once you're inside the vault, you can send short-range messages. It will get through. But attempts to teleport, it's the same as if you were to try and teleport into a Side-down temple. Unfortunately, there is some magical thing that blocks it.
Alright, lead lining or something.
Might be part of how they make the stone. But I mean, they choose the stone because it's so strong. It's magically infused somehow.
Right.
And then
you mentioned before there was this artifact that can shrink stuff.
Yes. Oh, yes. Hang on. That's my which is I need to put it's a homebrew thing, so I need to put that on your sheets, but I'll do that later. The way it works, I estimate if you get inside the vault and you were to shrink the contents of all the gold that's inside, it will still take you about 10 minutes to empty the entire vault. Some of the gold is there.
In terms of like uses on it, is it limited? Can we use it over and over? I was thinking of maybe doing something with this with these kegs.
Yes. So the way it works is you have to set it up. It kind of has a little stand. You put it in the center of whatever you're going to shrink, and then you step back and make sure you're not in the beam, and then it shrinks everything within that area.
Right.
So the vault is going to be perfectly. I mean, it's perfectly square, so you'll be able to work out whatever that is.
So we could use it. Yeah, that's true. I mean, you can worry about that when we get back with that.
Yeah,
with so I was thinking of maybe shrinking down these kegs. You know, getting them nice and transportable.
Oh right, yes.
You know, a bunch of portable explosives seems pretty useful for something like this. Yeah, maybe we go in with a bit less fuss than that, but I think it's an option. Would we be able to maybe stick some fuses on them, then shrink them down?
I don't see why you couldn't do that.
And if we do, how's that going to affect their potency? Would it make them stronger? Just a little more concentrated blast? Better at blowing holes in things?
I've never tried it before, to be honest. That's a good shout.
Might be worth.
Maybe it's going to be an experiment at the same time.
Yeah, maybe we can just grab a couple of barrels and do a bit of an experiment before we go.
Yeah, very well. He hands over like a little orb that's kind of almost like almost clockwork looking, like brass. It's got loads of little stones that are glowing inside and loads of little cogs. It kind of clicks a little bit, and he just kind of shows you how to use it. Hands it over.
Okay. How do we unshrink things?
It's on. There is not. I have not managed to find an unshrink option on there. It's an ancient artifact. This sort of thing might have that functionality, but last time we tried too much with it, it shrunk someone. I couldn't unshrink it afterwards.
It's highly possible that when we shrink this gold, it's worthless.
I mean,
well, as far as we can tell, it seems to stop working after 30 days. So that person got shrunk, but he was
right,
the size of a coin for 30 days. It was quite unfortunate. It was very difficult to not squish him. So just be aware of that. So if you get caught in its beam, you are that small for that long.
I mean, could be useful. You know, I mean, how big's a keyhole, you know?
Yes. Yeah. Well, anyway, that's your volition to do with whatever you wish there. But yeah, once you move the money, make sure that it's in a place that you know where it's going to be after 30 days. Otherwise, it might.
All right.
Well,
I mean, I think we should be back here within 30 days. That shouldn't be a problem.
Okay.
I would like to think so.
Well, we have our vault here. we've got things here, so we can store it.
Yeah, and worst case scenario, right? We shrink it down, and it is just shrunk down. It's still going to be a decent chunk, and they still don't have it,
Yeah.
And gold, gold's only worth whatever your proportion of the total is, right? So, you basically remove almost all the gold from that vault. That's what, 2/3 of the total gold on this side of Orfade. That's gonna have a big effect on value of the rest.
Agree.
We
I
basically
agree
double the
entirely.
value of what we already got.
That does beg the question: is this a make ourselves richer in the process thing, or purely damage? Because if the whole point of this is just damage
Oh, hello. Hello.
of the ocean, or
Oh, sorry.
Gosh,
you
yeah,
cut
Discord
out,
keeps cutting out. It's
yeah,
crazy.
it's being not great. But yeah, I think in terms of
Can we try and make a call, maybe?
yeah, that might work
That might
better.
work better. Do you want to set that up, Richard?
On
On
yeah,
Discord.
Sure. Yeah.
Just just wait for Richard to make a group for us all.
I haven't actually done a call in ages.
Sorry.
I'll just call you, and then I'll pull people in, I guess.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. All right. Hopefully that works better.
Oh, you joined so quickly. I was confused that whether you'd actually left or not. Okay, so
You can hear me, right?
yeah, I can hear you. Said add friends to DM. Is that gonna share all the chat history or? I mean, there's nothing.
No, I won't share our
No.
chat history. Don't worry.
I type in when I type in Matt, it comes out with Alex, and when I type in Alex, it comes up with when I type in Matt, it comes up with Alex, and I don't know. Type in Matt, and the other way around. No, not the other way
Why
around.
can't we just? It's crazy how we can't just add people to call. It's really easy.
Yeah,
That's for.
I think that's it. Okay.
hello.
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 So
Well, I think we're still waiting on Joanne.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's one of those things that is really hard to call people in Discord for some reason.
Yeah.
Especially making a group. You should just be able to record. All right, let's get Karen. Sorry, Cyan, you were saying something before we
I can't remember what we were talking about.
That's all right.
I think it was
So-
whether it was just a hit to them or supposed to be a gain to us.
Yeah, if push comes to shove and we're left with no other option, would it make sense to just throw the gold at the bottom of the ocean?
Well,
Yeah.
listen. So I spoke with Axos Kutaban. He is happy with your attempt to get this gold and to influence you to do as much damage to them as possible. He is willing to go to. You can have 90% of whatever you take.
Ooh.
That's still quite a lot of
Right.
money.
But what I mean is, does it make any sense for us to do that at all, or do we need to bring the gold back with us?
That's a question for you to decide.
Right. Okay.
I would say it's worth bringing back as much as you can. Starving their economy and bolstering ours will do a world of good.
Yeah, I just wasn't sure how desperate we were for
And
gold.
I do not mean to be. Are we trying to blow their place up as well?
Oh, I see.
I don't know. Are we? I mean,
Well,
if we want to
I
really
mean,
set them back.
the Adno Merchant Company's position is to destroy the traitors in any way possible.
I was thinking, look, we're gonna have to get out of there, right? And we might have to get out of there with some people on our tail. If we just start sailing away, then That might not go so well. Yeah, they're going to have ships that are faster than us. They're going to overwhelm us. We're going to get sunk or captured or whatever. However, we take some of those kegs, maybe spring a few leaks in a bunch of the other ships on our way out. Maybe they can't catch up with us. Maybe, or maybe if you know, they're resilient to that sort of thing, maybe, you know, do this, break the steering wheel, burn up the mast, you know, just render them not seaworthy for at least a day or two.
It feels like a whole person's job is to spend the whole time subtly distracting their operations. I think if we do it while we're trying to do the heist, if we do it separately, people are going to find out pretty quickly.
Whereas I can understand all of these things. If we add too much onto our to-do list, then things aren't going to go as planned. There's going to be a lot more of a chance of getting caught. There's going to be a lot more of a chance of us messing things up. I don't think we can do everything we would want to do there in one sitting. It would be awesome if we could, but the more clear and concise things are, the more chances of success.
What do
Yeah,
you
I
think,
agree.
Henning? Henning?
Is he on mute? Is he in the call?
Yeah, he's in the
Yes.
call.
Alex? Alex!
Hello?
Alex!
I think my internet cut out for like
Uh,
a good 25 seconds.
Oh,
oh,
So
nice.
please catch me up to speed.
Yeah, we
Came
just,
back as Richard shouted at me, so I assumed somebody asked me something.
the party were just talking about whether whether you want to just try and destroy the banking guild as much as you want, as possible, or whether you just want to do the heist. What do you think?
I think it would be good fun to destroy them as much as possible, no?
Yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
worried that the more we do, the less chance we have of actually pulling it off.
I suppose.
Like, the more stuff we do, the more suspicious we'll be, the more chance there is of getting caught. Then the more we have to do on a time limit, which risks messing something up. I think if we focus on the heist and do the other things, and do like a few small other things, as opposed to a bunch of big things on the day.
Like a
Or-
small side quest.
Yeah,
Got our main objective and our side.
something
The
that
optional. The optional.
exactly something that if we can do, great. But also, if we need to run away, screaming, and not do it, also great.
But I do think we should try and inflict as much damage while we're there.
You have a
Yeah.
grand opportunity to catch them unaware. I would suggest using it to your best ability.
I'd
Yeah.
Would the merchant company be willing to provide a follow-up to our activity? Is there anything you want from this action? If you understand what I'm saying.
What, you're asking if we can follow up with some help or something?
Well, if that was what you were planning to do, I mean,
Well,
why wait for them to rebuild if we could have this moment to, create a difference?
there's I have been thinking of potentially suggesting to the Merchant Prince an attack on Imyana itself, but it would be risky. Our fleet is basically evenly matched, and unless we matched up with Kelrius first, but Kelrius is obviously not very keen on removing its navy for now. So it's been hard for us to match up with the Banking Guild's fleet. but we could have a distraction, but there's no way of necessarily communicating very easily with you, I think.
Yeah, I think that's going to be hard to coordinate. I think we should focus on what we think we can get done, not go for some big aspiration where...
Sure.
But there is also a chance that if we were to start some offensive front near far away, you could have an excuse to slip off because Don Marine would be called into action.
I think if we stick to one main objective and 2 side objectives.
Okay, well, the main objective is to take whatever's in the vault, right?
Yeah.
Richard, is Joanne coming back, by the way?
Yeah, I think she just had to pop off for a little bit,
Oh, okay, that's cool.
but she is coming back. I think she...
No, as long
didn't-
as she's not just actually
yeah,
just
she
sat
didn't-
in the call.
Yeah, I think she didn't join because she
Guys?
was... she's elsewhere.
That's okay, that's fine. Alright, carry on, sorry.
So the main activity is to get the stuff out of the vault, and the other activity would be to damage something specific.
Well, there's a few targets, right? We could place a few barrels in Elise's room, maybe stick down a prying eye, and then when she shows up,
Yeah, I like this.
blow it to eye Evan.
Yeah.
We could plant some... we could blow up a few ships on our way out. We could... I don't know. Maybe try and take out some other key higher-ups, though, to be honest, I'm not sure that's going to have that much an effect. You know, you take out some higher-ups and... well, someone else just fills their spot, really, right? It's not really going to end a war unless they're the only one driving it.
Okay. Well, let's try and focus our efforts on Elise Ferencard then. That could be one. I do something with her room and her stuff. And then the second one could be something about information or information. Maybe they have a... I don't know, and then he kind of looks through all the notes you've just kind of given. So they've got like private offices. Presumably
Yeah.
that's where there's a lot of administrative information that could be of use.
Yeah, they're the offices that are just sort of hired out by other merchants, maybe for somewhere to do their taxes or whatever.
I think we should try and find something that's like, sorry, this is Matt speaking, of like, to do with all the kind of esoteric shit that's going on in that place. I know it's probably all in the other island, but
Well,
presumably
there'll definitely be magisters around, and at least Farroncar's obviously invested somewhat into it, so there'll be stuff around.
yeah. I think the other side task should be information gathering. Basically, I think that's probably the best use of our time. Like, one thing is to take the gold, one thing is to ruin at least Farroncar's day, and then the third is around the information. And then I guess in terms of escaping and like the risk of like people coming behind us. I mean, can we just like throw barrels off behind us and light them up? Like that feels
Like
reasonable.
Mario Kart.
Yeah, like oil in like literally like oil in the water. We've all got fire spells, and then they don't probably want to go across that.
I think if we're just doing that when they have potentially, you know, a small fleet to come after us, that'll have very limited effect. I think we'd have to actually take a bit of time to individually disable the ships from on board. If
Well,
we
if
really
we're doing
have much
that, then
chance.
we'd have to say no to information gathering or destroying release. I don't mind which one, but
Well, and I think whether we need to do that. Hi, John. I think whether we
Yeah.
actually need to do that.
we don't
Well,
need to.
Well, I think whether we do actually need to do that, it will depend on how we're escaping.
Well, I think by boat.
Well, I mean, in what manner?
Our big boat.
Like, if we have been rused, if our intentions have been made known at the time where we escape and it's running away,
All right. Well,
we need to
another
disable the
ship at
possibility of
Ferryport. We'll go from there.
disable the possibility of a catch up.
Okay, fine. So we have a secondary option to get out Ferryport. Primary option is our main big ship because we wouldn't want to lose that. and then maybe a third somewhere, maybe like somewhere else that we can stash or something, or dinghy or something, and just sail it somewhere.
That means leaving behind.
The crew are
yeah.
organised.
Yeah.
Will be a fully capable crew. They'll be disguising themselves as the crew that went off with Don Marine. So, if you want, I mean, you could always, if you were going to take a couple of ships, you could always move some of those to other ones, and you would just be a little less able on your ship.
I would recommend leaving the ogre here.
The ogre.
The ogre.
The ogre.
John Iden doesn't know what he's talking about.
You know, caskets.
I have no idea what you mean.
Cookie.
Yeah,
I like cookies as well. They're very tasty.
No. There's an ogre. There's a chef. He's an ogre.
Yes, I do like ogres that make cookies.
Cascus, are you feeling alright?
Yeah, Gaskus, I don't know why you're being weird about this.
I'm feeling very fine. There is no such thing as a ogre called Cookie. That is ridiculous.
That ogre helped save your life. I don't know why you're so embarrassed to know him.
Don Iden's like, should we move on?
Probably for the best, yes.
So, you should probably decide who wants to be inside the vault and who wants to be outside. That'd be a good idea.
I think I should be inside the vault. I think that's where I'm best.
Well, we have a good history of doing sneaky stuff together, so I think I should come with you.
I'm okay with this. I would prefer to have Calcifer and Helena perhaps outside of the vault.
Do any of you have the capabilities to communicate? You've got a communication device.
We've got
Yeah, we've got
pins.
these pins.
They should
Very-
work through the walls.
Yeah, very skilled elf in Lenora, main for us.
Oh, well, if you want to set up a trade route.
I
Get some of
agree.
this technology over here.
Hey, look, I took plenty of notes on that. We speak later.
God, you had to say the trade word, didn't you?
So bringing up the sorry, just a second. So bringing up the ventilation system, what do you think about that? I mean, I can provide you with some sleeping powder, which should help, but you'll have to work out some method of
Administering it.
while stopping yourself getting affected by it.
And these humans are elves. Could a fetter work as well? I think sleeping powder is good though.
There will be humans in Imyana.
How long does this gas take to dissipate?
5 minutes. Depends on the ventilation.
How long do they stay unconscious for?
10, 20 minutes.
How long could I hold my breath? Let me have a thing.
They sell like gas masks or something. I don't know if that's a thing.
I think, regardless of how long you can hold your breath, if you're exposed to something like a deadly nerve agent, I don't think you being able to hold your breath is going to save your life.
It's not a deadly nerve agent. It's just
No,
something
but the idea still stands. Like if it works like a gas, I don't think holding your breath is going to save you. Right?
Well, it's the sleeping powder itself is breathed in. That's how it's affected. It doesn't affect the skin or anything.
Alright.
Oh wow! Apparently, I really can't hold my breath very long. Apparently, no one can. So it's like a minute for the most hardy people in the world. Apparently, I think that's with the intention of it being like in a fight or something, though. I'm not sure.
Yeah, or a very high stress situation,
Yeah.
like breaking into a vault.
That is quite stressful.
Right. So
But
holding my
it will
breath for
take-
5 minutes probably not going to work then.
It'll take 10, 20 seconds to affect the people inside. But something like a spell that allows you to breathe underwater will work, or you could even put a bit of cloth over your face. I mean, that should hopefully help. I haven't tried it, but it's the particles that you don't want them to get.
Yeah. I guess it depends, right, how it works. If it is a dust, then yeah, maybe just a simple cloth might work. If it's a gas,
I read somewhere
it's gonna
that
go through whatever.
it helps if you piss on the cloth first.
Well, there we are. You can do what you like, but I would recommend having a think at least about using that. He hands it over. It's like a small little cloth bag with a ribbon tied around closing it. It's got like a little purple vial on it stitched into it. He says again, it works very well if a good whiff is breathed in. If you just pump that into the ventilation system, the ventilation system vents are on the ground floor. So if you stand in front of one of the fans, hopefully it should blow it all down there. But they're quite hard to miss, those ones. But that's only if you wish to do that. I mean, you can try and get past the internal security team in another way as well.
I mean, I'd be Don Marine.
But there would be 3 of you going through, no? I mean, that's...
Yeah, they could be clients.
Suppose.
Oh God.
Yeah, like people who run banks, they tend to bring clients in for like deposit boxes and the like, right?
Yes, it's true.
I mean, a Don that maybe just had a close call in Lenora. Maybe he's wants some protection.
We'll also say that when you took control of the ship, you got like all of Don Marine's clothes and stuff. Like he's got like a whole collection of just like very fancy nobleman's clothes. And there's just spare clothes for guests and stuff just around. So you've got all the kind of Lavari merchant noble disguise gear you need. It'll just be your faces at that point that you probably want to do something about.
Well, I'm perfectly fine with changing my face. It's the
You
other
could just
that
wear
worries.
really bright wide-brimmed caps and just keep your head down all the time.
I'm not too worried about that. I don't think anyone's going to really know who we are. Like, other than this Fankar. And Dom Marine doesn't, probably.
Yeah, there's only a couple of like guards of Elise Farrakars who've ever seen you, but otherwise it's just her and Don Marine. But like you could potentially still be spotted by them.
Yeah, I feel like if we are spotted by them, that would be really bad.
For sure.
Don Iden says, I do have potions. And if you deposit a hair in them of the person you want to disguise yourself as, that's how you do that. So, if you can find a hair of at least Farrankar or some other high-ranking banking guild person, you can disguise yourself as them whilst you're there. It's your choice. And it will not be hard to get one of those.
Maybe she keeps a brush in her private quarters or something.
The vault
Yes.
itself, the inner vault. You mentioned there was a special path to it. Do they, the person that's actually in the vault that knows the path, do they travel that path?
Yes, they regularly go in and check on the vault itself.
If we can identify them, then maybe. How about this? We shrink down Ankh, so he's not as recognizable.
Have Hank go down the.
He gets a whiff of them, follows the scent.
Is he able to be that? Is he that? Your dog is very talented.
Yeah, dogs follow scents, don't they? I'm not sure. I'm not sure that's a thing on his. I don't think that's a thing on his stat block. But
What's a stat block?
that is why I reverted to Richard voice when I said it.
Wait, this is Richard.
Yes,
Yeah,
this is my normal voice.
Hello, Richie Beams. Huh?
So, the light beams themselves, if you're perceptive enough, you might be able to spot them. So with the dust, for example. So if you're dexterous enough, you could try and dodge through them as well.
That is
But
not
what would be the point?
for me.
What do you mean? What would be the point?
Well,
You get to
if
do a.
that's not the right path to the vault, why would we be going that direction?
Well, I think all the paths lead to the vault. It's just
Oh,
that
I see.
if you go the wrong one and you trip one of the laser beams, then you get incinerated.
Yeah, it's like from the front. If you looked at all the beams, it would be impossible to tell like what the path is that you have to walk.
Are the beams... Right.
Yeah, go on.
Are the beams invisible?
They're beams of light. So if you like put some dust over them, you might be able to work them out.
The invisibility spell wouldn't.
Yeah, they're not
wouldn't
like
help.
magically invisible. Yeah, it's just kind of sunlight, I guess.
What about detect magic?
He says it does not say here whether they're magical beams or whether they're natural beams of light. There might be some magical receiver that receives them, and then if they're broken, something happens.
Okay.
I do have my cloak that gives me invisibility.
If you're invisible, would the beams just pass straight through you?
What about gaseous cloud?
I do not know whether if you want to try that out, you're welcome to. I would be very hesitant to
Let's
even
have a
attempt
look
it.
at the rules.
Nah.
I mean, if
Gaseous
it's
cloud,
just,
that's
I
a
mean, if
potential.
if it's just a beam of light and light goes through you, seems to me like that should work.
But remember, one mistake, and you will get incinerated.
When you say you'll get incinerated, is it like the beam takes you out over a slow period of time, or is it like instant disintegration?
Oh no, it says here on the notes, he points that there's vents above and below that have flammable gas.
Wait, what?
So the entire corridor leading to the a second vault door kind of has a floor and a ceiling of like pots that have flammable gas in them.
Okay.
So
I mean,
in the
wouldn't-
event, yes.
I mean, it wouldn't. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time this month that something's tried to incinerate us.
I
Just
don't
wanna
think that's a good thing.
It's. I mean, their purpose is literally just to stop people even attempting it. But if you feel, it's able to, I mean, go for it. Just there might be an easier way if you actually find who knows the path.
Is it like one corridor or what?
Yeah, yes, it's a kind of a short corridor.
All right, so any teleportation maybe could just skip to the end.
Yes, I mean, I'm sure they might have thought of something for that, but it doesn't say here.
But I think that wouldn't be too much of a problem, no? I'm sure we can be, sensible about it. But I mean, it's easy for me to say I'm not going to be there.
Well, and the people on the security room, there is a change in security every 30 minutes. So a different kind of group goes in there and takes over. So you could either try and be the group that goes in there and takes over, or you could beat one group up, just storming your way in.
Just carry on
Wow.
doing that until the heist is over, just repeatedly punching out.
We need the
knocking out the people.
we need the locations of all cleaning cupboards en route to this vault.
Yeah.
That's something that the architects will know more about. If you want any final information in Imyana, it's probably worth tracking him down.
Is he the type that's working with them because they're paying him well, or is he the type that's banking guild all the way? Whoop-de-doo.
Well, he's influential magister, and he does a lot of his own teaching and lecturing and experiments in the magisterium. He just happens to be also assigned to that. I think the banking guild give him a wide leash to kind of do what he wishes.
Okay. I mean, like, is he like loyal or?
I don't know. I don't know him very well.
Fair enough.
So the ventilation system, you can obviously use it to get gas through, but you can also, in the event of an emergency, use it to escape. But there's rows and rows of fans that you would have to get past.
When you say get past, as in like you can kind of see through it from below, and people don't like take attacks at you.
No, as in they spin really fast, and you have to try and jump through
I
them,
see. Fair enough.
or try and jam them somehow. But the book says here that there's at least 6. And the shaft itself is 5 foot in diameter. So it's a bit of a squeeze. And that takes whoever goes through it into the kind of ground floor bank area. So that's a very scrutinized area. There's a lot more people who work there, and there's a lot more security there as well. Like, you'd have to come out of a fan just in the main lobby. Alright, so is there any other questions?
Well, it sounds like we need to probably go away for a bit and figure some things out, and then likely have more questions for you.
I do
well.
have a question. What's your birth sign?
Fish.
Fish. Got it. Cool. Thanks.
What's yours? No, go on. He says, very well. The information that I'll hand over the book to you. I'm officially assigning you control of this mission. So he hands over the book. So basically, any questions you just have about the bank, you can have a look in there, and maybe I'll tell you what it says. Is that right?
Yeah.
All right.
And the group for the ship will be ready in a couple of days, so I'd give it at least 2 days. But after that, you're on your own. It's about a day's journey to Imyana, like a day and a night. So time your arrival, well, I guess.
Right, I've got some bombs to test.
Very well. Good luck, all. I'm sure you'll smash it. He looks quite nervous.
Yeah, we don't fill people with hope, but we've managed to do all right so far.
Yeah, he was quite legitimately impressed that you came back alive.
He literally just sent us expecting us to fully die. It's great.
Well, remember his last group got executed by the merchant company.
There's the ones that we saw as we were coming in.
Yeah, you were literally the last group.
I'm just going to write a long list of things, by the way.
Cool. So you, I guess, unless you have any last questions, you just go off. Go back to the ship maybe and recoup. Have a bit of a natter.
I would like to use comprehend languages, my new spell, on this book. That's okay.
It's in common.
What? No. The one that we got the grimoire.
Oh. Yeah. Okay.
It's just really bad handwriting.
Would that still work with comprehend languages?
So you...
It's actually doctor.
So you sit down.
Yeah.
Huddled over the book, you begin to mutter the incantation of comprehend languages, and before your eyes, a kind of jagged, harsh writing of Carnea begins to form and mold into something that's more legible to you. It continues to mold, and it sort of just becomes more and more kind of jagged. Roll me a perception check.
I use it.
The magic itself seems. You can use that.
Yeah. I just want. Okay. 33. As
Okay.
it was the legend point.
All right, so you hunch over it, and you begin to kind of watch the letters, and they begin to form into words that you kind of. They don't quite make any sense. They, as you look at them, they're more like emotions and feelings, kind of words that tweak at your soul almost, and you kind of feel your vision begin to go black, kind of become almost pinpointed, almost like you're going through a tunnel. And then all of a sudden, you're transplanted, sat just before this huge altar, kind of a throne with some human, it seems, sat upon it. Seems like, I mean, he seems just like a person. Pale skin, kind of short, cropped, dark black hair. He's wearing kind of weird human garb. Not a cloak, like a jacket, almost a military dress. Quite comfortably sort of tightly wrapped around him. He's sat cross-legged and just is looking directly down at you. You seek my audience.
Yes, I came across this book, and I was hoping to learn about it.
He stares at you. You notice, kind of weirdly, his eyes kind of flicker between a sky blue, a pale blue, and a black. Just his entire iris isn't white, just flickering to black. Almost like he's reading your thoughts, reading your soul, peering into you. He steps off the chair, and even though a second before he looked 100 feet tall, like he seems to tower above you. As he walks towards you, kind of shrinks and is more your height. Maybe standing a little bit taller. He looks down and says, "How much would you pay for immortality?"
Well, I've got about 4 gold on me.
he kind of smiles a little bit and turns around and says, "Hinera, is it?"
Oh, yeah, you know me, do you?
Kind of looks and cracks his fingers together a little bit and says, "I know all of you. I know Calcifer. I know Cascus. I know Cyan, or Vanel, as he likes to be called. I know Henning. I know those companions you walk with. I know everything."
Okay. How do you know everything?
I'm sure you probably know the answer. Do you know who I am?
No.
Then we will meet. Soon, at some point. I have many plans. And then all of a sudden, your hand just backs off from the book. It flips itself shut. There's a kind of whooshing sound as air and sort of gas kind of leaks out of it before it closes. And it locks itself, binds itself by a clasp. You sort of sit upright and eerie, feeling around you.
Well, I might have just done something maybe a bit silly.
We all there or not?
I'm not hiding that I'm gonna try and read this book, so maybe you are, I don't know.
I mean,
came back to the ship.
let's say that you kind of just instinctively screamed, and basically everyone ran down and heard it.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Just you sat right by the book.
I unsheath my weapon and kind of.
So
okay?
I read the book.
Why did you read the book? It's a
I just-
spooky book.
Yeah, well,
Wasn't that a
It's a spooky-
phylactery or something?
yeah, but I thought maybe it would also have some spells in.
What does the book look like, Mike? Can you describe it a bit?
It's made of human flesh, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
tightly bound with a kind of pallid kind of skin texture. Very likely it's made by human skin.
Nothing good ever came wrapped in human flesh.
What about
Well,
me?
besides humans.
You're not. If you're wrapped in human flesh, then I'm concerned.
What about orc flesh?
Well, I mean,
Or accept.
look, you know what I meant. Flesh not on a. You know, I don't need to explain.
Vance appears from Henning's sword and walks over to the book and says, "I did warn you it was dangerous."
You know who this belongs to?
I had my suspicions. I just felt something very unpleasant.
Okay, I'll describe him. And I'll tell, and maybe you can work it out. He was a human with pale skin and short cropped dark hair with a sort of army or military jacket on. And they had blue eyes that went black and flickered back. And he told me that he asked me if I wanted immortality or how much I would pay for immortality. And I told him I only had 4 gold on me. And he laughed and said that he's gonna come and hang out with us sometime. Because he thinks I'm really cool and fun.
Did he say that he thinks you're really cool and fun, or
Are
No,
you
was it-
paraphrasing?
It was implied.
Press X to down.
Vance says, "I think you all know who I'm
Sorry.
suspecting."
I don't. Please, can you just tell me?
Just enlighten us.
He sighs. Seems like you just met Naruto.
That was one of the 2 that I was thinking.
Uh,
Yeah, well, to be honest, he seemed quite nice.
who was the other one you were thinking?
The Septus, the lich that got killed by Naruto.
I always thought Naruzatar would be a bit more imposing. He sounds a
Well,
bit.
No, he was just sat in a chair with with like a table next to him.
Vance kind of comes close to you and says, "What did you remember about where he was? Did you see anything? Was there like an area, a location?"
Okay, maybe it wasn't a chair. It was a throne, and there was also an altar.
Make a perception check for me.
Okay.
Sort of reaching back through your memory, see if there's anything that you can remember about the area.
Nat 20.
Hey.
34.
Nice.
You cast your mind back, and even though everything was kind of black around you, you kind of realized that it was almost like a bubble of darkness, kind of. And you could vaguely see through. It seemed to be like a very starry night with kind of, it seemed like mountains in the distance. It's not the stars in the sky don't seem familiar to you. It's not necessarily somewhere that I think you recognize. Like you don't recognize those particular constellations. They seem different.
Okay.
Vance says he could be anywhere.
Could you describe any of the constellations?
No, because that's not how constellations work.
What?
If you don't know them, then you can't just be like that one's a bear, because you don't
It'd
know.
just be like a
supposed to be bear.
Rorschach. It'd be like a Rorschach test. This one's my parents
Oh, God.
arguing.
No, you just look up them, and then you just see them, right?
No,
Are there
people
any
just
particular?
see patterns in things. Like it's not like the stars just, you know what, we're going to be a crane today, and then a bunch of people looked at it and all decided across the world that one's a crane. No, I think like different places around the world will have had different views of the stars and decided that one looks like a bear, and someone thinks
Yeah.
no,
Look,
no, it doesn't. It looks like a chicken.
Look, I was just thinking, between us, we've grown up on 3 continents.
Yeah. Okay. Is there any specific stars that I can describe, like how we have Orion's belt or
Yeah.
Cassiopeia, which Matt taught me how to see ages ago. Just
Right?
yeah.
Yeah, there seemed like there was 2 moons in the sky as well.
Was that here? Do we have 2 moons?
No.
Okay, thank you. That is important.
I take it there's also not 2 moons in Eshmalon.
Yeah, in Norway there's 2 moons, but not in.
It's
But
it's in a geostationary orbit, so
Yeah, there we are. That'd be funny, wouldn't it? Yeah, wow, think about it. Anyway.
Were there 2 moons in the sky when we went to not the Shadowfell in the last campaign?
Maybe.
Okay. You know what I mean.
I know, not the Shadow.
Rider Alora.
Oh no,
No.
that was not hell.
Not
Not the Shadowfell was just that planet.
Oh, yeah.
Crane.
Yeah.
Crane, yeah.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, my robotic friend.
I feel so bad for
So anyway, yeah, Vance says, well, now we know who our immortality patron is.
Okay.
Sorry, another question. What about the Feywild? Does that have 2 moons? I think.
Oh, that might do.
Okay, so is this person Clive?
No.
Okay.
No.
Clive made manifest.
Yeah. Clive, it's Clavusitar.
Yeah, Clive is beyond the fickle deeds of mortals.
What if he's befriended Naruzatar and we have to fight him?
He is Naruzatar's steed.
Yeah. God.
It's turned
Okay,
into a
anyway.
nightmare.
You know, like in Shrek, when Donkey becomes like it's a bit like that.
Vance says, if Naruzatar has returned, that means nothing good.
Okay, but why would he be giving immortality to just randos?
Said he asked if there was a cost, right? Take it he's getting something in return.
But Naruzatar, he has no power over souls. Not ones generally. He's not like a god, right?
How do you seem to suddenly not know much about Naruzatar, but before you apparently knew what he looked like? Have you met him?
I have been with people who know him in my previous.
You knew a
form.
guy who knew a guy.
I knew. Well, I was kind of part of the meeting, but not really around. If you know what I mean.
No, I do not.
Were you the guy in charge of cutlery?
No.
Or were you in the cutlery?
Yes, I was more in the cutlery. But he is an unpleasant figure at best. And a tyrant at worst.
So, do we... I'm sorry, was it like common knowledge that Naruzatar went to a different like plane, or was it just that he disappeared?
It's just they disappeared.
Well, if he's been gone for so long and now he's only just shown up, maybe he went away for a reason. Maybe he learned whatever this is on his vacation somewhere. Maybe he went for a beach holiday and he dug up something on the sand and whoop, I have the secret to immortality now.
Well, he was already immortal.
Well, I think he would have chosen this kind of immortality over becoming a lich in the first place.
Don't know.
I mean, being a lich looks like it has more of a drawback than this kind of immortality.
I mean, we got no idea what the side effects of this one are, right?
And
Yeah,
why would he?
true.
And why would he give his power away to people? He never did that when he was a lich.
Maybe it's like a B&B. You know, maybe like he runs like somewhere you can go, like forget about the world, and like maybe like I don't know, you can buy immortality for a bit, and then you know like you can have fun. You know, stab your friends. Nothing bad will come of it. You know.
I mean, people that are immortal still get killed all the time, right? I just like look at Vance.
Is that a threat?
Nah.
I don't know. You just seem like someone that's died before.
Well, I'm basically a spirit now.
Well, exactly. Well, point made, right?
I mean, there are spirits who haven't died before, right?
Yeah, depends what you mean by dying, I guess. But
I
anyway,
guess, but...
let's. Right. Well, that was a thing. Anyway, I'd recommend locking that book up. If Naruzatar has a link to it, he might be able to see through it.
Right. Does anyone want to go see me blow some shit up?
I would love to blow shit up.
absolutely.
All right. We got the orb. Gonna need one of those kegs, and let's see.
Vance just covers the book up and puts it away.
We're gonna need a section of wood that would be used for a hull. Maybe. That's what I'm thinking.
This is Port Edrin. Everything's made of ships here.
Yeah. So let's head down to a lumberyard or some shit. Get a section of whatever they use to repair ships.
Yeah, there's just tons of. If you're not necessarily fussed about it being like that pristine or new, there's loads of like old wood around.
Yeah, just kind of durable enough that it like represents what would happen if we were to do this on a real section of hull.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just go get some of that and then
yeah,
find
that's cool. You can get enough of that for free just around the place.
then find somewhere that we can shrink a barrel down.
Yeah, okay. Let me just go back to the Port Adrian map. You find like a little cove, I guess, just outside the city walls. That you set up in. It's kind of far enough that no one's going to really hear the explosion, hopefully. Or if they do, they're not that fussed about it. And what's your goal? To set up the fuse and just sort of see how it goes?
So the idea is to basically see what happens to the explosion when the barrel is shrunk down.
Okay. All right. So you get the icon of shrinking. You put it out. You put it up on its stand. And if you remember Don Iden showing you how to use it. Like the cog on the left is for distance, and the cog on the right is for time, like the timer until it shrinks. Just give me a general Arcana check. It's like super easy to use.
Okay. And Eric, can you give me an
Baby's
ad?
first shrinking device.
Yeah, Hanera can probably aid you if she wishes.
I am not currently at my computer, but if one wants to roll for me, that's totally fine.
Oh right. Have you got Hanera's sheet?
It's like an answer phone.
So if not,
I
Henning
do
can give
not,
you an Arcana.
but I did roll a 34.
Oh, that's cool. That's fine. Hanera kind of pretends to help you, but she's not. Her heart's not really in it. You get 34. That's no problem. So you set it up. It starts to tick, and you kind of go, "Oh!" nervously, sort of step back.
All right, everyone, get away! Everyone, get away!
As it ticks down, eventually it kind of raises into the air for a second, and then almost takes there's like a flash from it that takes almost like it takes a picture, but you don't know what picture. And all the grass and all the everything next to it all gets shrunk as well, but the barrels get shrunk as well, and you see them absolutely very small, maybe the size of a kind of a tic tac, just lying on the ground.
Okay, right. Step 1 done. Now
So you pick them up and then take them over to what kind of distance are you putting them from this wood?
So I was
put them
I was
right
going
next
to
to
try and
it?
just like jam it onto it. Like
Okay.
I was thinking maybe getting some kind of putty.
Oh,
so
yeah,
I can like stick
This
it in
is
places.
C4.
I mean, you
Pretty
Just
much,
go C4.
literally a jar of honey would do it. So all right, so I guess you just like slather some honey or fucking whatever mud, and just imprint it in there.
Yeah, pretty much.
How are you gonna light it?
Anyone got a light?
Would a
I
match
assume we'd
do?
have like
I
I assume we'd
have
have
produced
those
flame.
kinds of tools.
Do you want produced flame?
I mean, I guess you could just chuck it at that from a distance, but I've got flint and steel. I'll light the fuse. Do it the normal way.
Right.
Good job I made these fuses extra long because it's pretty short now. So yeah, I'll just light the fuse and then run.
Okay, so you light the fuse, yeah, and run away. You just sort of take a couple of like 20 feet distance and hide behind a rock or something. As the fuse counts down, and boom, there's a huge explosion. It seems to be that the same size of explosion that it would have been if they hadn't been shrunk. A huge fireball rises out, and you duck as like a piece of wood just like zooms past your ear, embeds itself in a tree nearby.
Okay, that's amazing.
Well, that'll do it. Okay, now I need to figure out the remote detonation part. If we're going to maybe set a bunch of these off at once.
Just to clarify, where are we planning to set these off when we get to the island?
To be decided. I was thinking maybe, well, it depends. We haven't planned our escape yet. Sticking these on a load of boats, making a load of holes.
Yes, I think that sounds good.
Yeah, making it so we can't be pursued when we leave.
Sounds good.
Okay, but how are we going to trigger it?
Well, that's why I still need to work on that part. Getting a
about-
bunch of fuses set up is easy. Getting a remote detonation mechanism so I can flip a switch and blow them all up at once from 1,000 feet away. That part's tricky.
Okay. What about the delayed blast fireball spell? I don't know if it's even a Pathfinder spell, by the way. I need to look it up.
I don't think it is.
I think it is in the regular Pathfinder, but I'm not sure if it is in 2E. I'm just trying to find it.
I don't think it does. maps exist in Pathfinder.
No, that'd be
Anyway,
good.
yeah. But that would still just be like a minute in one place.
Mm.
Like you could only really do one boat. Unless you just set up a fuse that was going from boat to boat. It's like, oh, don't mind me, don't mind this fuse, it's nothing suspicious.
So I could set. So if you want to do a master crafting check, you could do a remote detonation because you got the fuse. You got the fuse device that sort of flips the fuses. So like you could have a bunch of fuses all tied to each other. Obviously, you're limited by how long the fuse can go. You know? Like if you want to blow up every single ship in the bay, you probably can't do that with that. But if you want to do a remote one, you could use one of your stones of whatever, like the sending stones. And I could you could do a master crafting check. I'll see. Then maybe you could do it.
Okay. I will attempt that. What's the DC on that?
That'd be 30 for the master crafting check.
I will. Can you use a legend point with assurance?
No. The assurance is just that's for basic.
I will just roll a regular check and use a legend point.
Okay.
Oh,
nice.
So 50?
Yeah, that works. Alright.
Christ.
You'll have to come up with some fantasy techno gubbins and how you managed to make it work. But yeah, like you managed to create a little device that just by talking a little code phrase through. If you showed that to Lorandon, he'd be legitimately impressed.
Maybe you're wasted with us. Maybe we should be keeping you here and not letting you go to the island.
Hey, look, I mean, this is my profession.
Well, yeah, but there's blacksmithing and there's this.
I'm sure this comes under blacksmithing.
Yeah, runecraft. Well, like it's kind of like rune crafting, right? You're using the same kind of thing that you'd use to craft a rune to sort of use the magical properties and something to do something else. Like it's the fantasy version of coding.
Yeah, once you get past the basic shit, you know, and just making like nice looking armor, it's all magic, right?
Yeah, exactly. But the best, the skillful part is getting the magic to interact with physical stuff, like that sort of. But anyway, you do it, and very impressively are able to set something like that up. But you could shrink it, and it'd probably still work as well. So you could shrink it all all connected, and then you can move it,
Nice. So is that just for like one device to set off them all up, and then they all have to be connected to that device, or is that? Can I do that like to each barrel individually?
I'd say that. So.
The ideal thing is having each barrel individually, just somewhere on the island, and just.
Yeah, because what of the role you got, I'll say that's fine. That you basically know how to recreate this thing now.
Okay, awesome.
Which means that you could probably... you can have the blueprint for making Lorandon's things as well. Lorandon's sending stone thingy.
Nice.
If you want to make another one, I'll send you that over.
Cool. All right, I know what I'm going to be busy with on the way there.
Okay.
Let's get the rest of these shrunk down.
While you've been doing that, I've been having a think about what we need to decide in the next little while. And he kind of pulls out a kind of rather hastily drawn piece of paper, which is a list I've put in our chat, and there's a link to it in the OneNote, which is just what I think is all the kind of decisions we need to make.
Mm-hmm. Cool. That's what. I guess that's worth discussing in the week.
Yeah. No, I know, but.
Yeah. No. If you want to discuss it now, there's time for it.
Well, do we have anything else other than anything on this list that we need to talk about today? Right now.
Not that I know of. Like, it's just whatever you guys want to do now. We can always end early as well. Like this was always going to be this kind of session, so we can have you go like in the process of going off, heading off, and then next session you can come
Well,
into Imiana.
Well, we can't reveal the plot for our heist in the right to the audience now. It's got to happen as it goes.
Yeah,
Wait,
yeah.
Gotta
you have
open the
to
light.
you explain what
It's
you're doing
literally
as
gonna
you're
be
doing
a-
it.
Exactly.
Oh, you
but
know
if
what?
I actually the whole time
Yeah,
it
we
was
can-
always a
yeah, we-
flashback to this moment.
Yeah, we can
Where
hate
we're
you.
sitting
I
right
was
there.
muted when I was trying to explain things, and there was silence, and I was talking, and no one's interrupting, and Mike just started talking, and I was like, what the hell? But I was just
That's so
no.
rude.
Anyway, I wanted to also make it sure everyone knows that all the spells that I have just bought, like the ones out on my wizard spell book, it's just not a wizard, it's basically a wizard spell book. I can only prepare one of them every day, but it can be at every level of the spell that is castable, but I can only prepare one, so we need to pick if you want me to prepare one.
So
Which
which
one?
so which spells is that?
Yeah, I will send a screenshot of it so you know.
Cool.
Nice.
Should we? Okay, should we just run through this then, or did we actually want to
No,
do
please
that
can we
off
run
stream?
through it?
Okay.
Because I did miss a big chunk, so I'd like to know.
Okay, so we got disguises. So I think Cyan was going to be Don Marine, and then does anyone else want to actually be someone specific, or do we just
No.
I want to be you.
generic? We're all just one of each other.
Yeah. I
Wait,
think-
sorry.
I
Do you
think-
mean Calcifer or Richard?
Richard.
What are you saying? What are you saying, Cascos?
No, I was just going to say I think that's fine. I do not think we all want to cover someone specific. Otherwise, we draw attention to ourselves unwillingly. So I think Cyan being Don Marine is probably sufficient.
I think if I go in, I need to be disguised because I'm just so well known. People might recognize me.
I do not think they will. No offense.
All right.
I think it's
But,
worth.
however, I think there is one thing. There is this box you said, right, with the hair. It is worth thinking if we need to use that at all.
Me.
Well,
The disguises with the hair, like you can put hair in the potions. or-
Oh right. Okay. I thought you were saying that Hanera had a box with hair in it.
No, sorry.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
that
let's
is-
say all right. So I'm sorry, just for a sec. Let's say that John Iden also gave you a box of 6 of these potions, and they're like better ones that they last 6 hours rather than 3 hours or something.
You put a hair in it.
So you just put a hair of whoever you want to disguise yourself as, and then you do it. And then it just
Okay.
yeah, and that's for 6 hours. And
Okay,
and
good.
we'll say it changes your voice as well. Well, you'll still have to do the. Is it what was that disguise thing? Oh no, Cyan's one will be the disguise one. But if Cyan, if you want to take that potion, you won't. It will change your voice, and you won't have to do the performance thingy.
Right. Okay.
It's your choice. But
Alright.
that's also if
The problem would be finding Don Noreen's hair.
no, that's the thing.
Or
Yeah,
when
if
there's
you wanna
some
be-
on the ship.
You
get.
could probably find a hair on the ship, but there's no guarantee that it's necessarily Don Marine's hair until you put it in the potion, and then the potion's that's done.
It sounds like we have a reasonable plan in place to have the stuff we need to do disguises, so I think we can probably skip this, and if we need to add people to names and things, that will become clear as we go down the list, yes?
Yeah.
Okay. The second thing on this list we had was what to do with the crew when we arrive at the
Right.
island.
I think that ideally, if the goal right now is not to make a massive fuss, to get in, get the gold, get out, maybe assassinate a couple of people, who knows, then I think that ideally we keep them on the ship so we can make a quick escape. We don't want to be gathering people up, getting people back together. That'll cause a lot of commotion. I think if they can stay on the ship, maybe if we can create some reason for them staying on the ship, maybe we maybe we make some maybe we'll make some cosmetic damage to the ship so that they can be busy repairing it.
Can we do that?
Oh, I'm sure we can figure some stuff out. some scorch marks, some, you know, needs a new lick of paint, needs a new banner or whatever. That shouldn't be too hard, right?
Well, it would have just come back from the war, I suppose.
Yeah, it's just been in a fight, right? All the way from Lenora.
Yep.
Okay. Very good. That
We
is
we fought off that fucking group of
Those
group
awful
of five
degenerates.
from that adventuring guild that
Right. Yeah. Next on the list then.
All right. Sleep powder in the fans. I mean, Cyan, you're going to be disguised, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I guess that's not going to put you in a great position to be sneaking off and putting stuff in the vents, but that is also probably your strength, right?
I mean, if I'm just walking around as Don Marine in there, I don't think we need to put the sleeping powder in vents.
It is maybe a good idea just to have it as a precaution, no?
Hmm.
I mean, sure, but we also don't want me just going in as Don Marine and then deciding, actually, I'm going to have a look inside all of these vents.
Well, I
So-
could always put them in if that is.
Well, FYI, the reason there's an internal security team is because, like, for example, if you're going and you're trying to get something out of the vault, you would go speak to the internal security team, then they would go into the vault and get it for you. So, like, that's why they know the path, right?
Yeah.
Like, so even if you were disguised as Don Marine, it'd be very weird for you to then be like, and I'm going into the vault. You know, like, you could probably convince them that you were going to do it, but there was always a guarantee. There's not a guarantee, right?
Right, okay.
But it's your choice. Like that, there's that sort of side of things as well. Being disguised Don Marine will be really important for, like, getting access to Elise Farrankar potentially. That'll be an important use for that.
Okay, I am going to suggest that I do that, unless anyone else would like to do it instead.
No qualms with that.
Okay. Next on our list is agree who is going into what sections. So there will be 2 people outside with the keys. I think I'm one of those.
I'm
And with-
going into the vault.
With Henning, I think. Is that correct?
Yes.
Maybe might be good if I stay outside.
Henning's just one G, one N. Sorry.
He's a bird.
Yeah.
Okay, so that means Gaskis and Calcifer. And then Henira goes into the security corridor with Henning and Cyan. Is that okay?
Sounds good to me. Skipper.
Sounds good with me. So long
Yeah,
as...
that's okay.
Is there anything? This first door, you know, only stays open for 30 seconds.
Mhm.
Is there any way we could maybe wedge it open?
You could try, but it's really heavy, right? So, like, it'll be wanting to close. So even if you jam it open like a little bit, like, you wouldn't really be able to push it back open again. You might be able to, but it'll be heavy as fuck.
I think if we get like maybe just like a solid thing of like a solid metal thing that can like get in the way, and then we can like go in the gap that leaves.
Oh, I've got an idea. What about the grimoire, the phylactery? That's not. Surely that's not gonna get broken. And if it does, then, you know, that's one problem solved.
Terrible idea.
Can you imagine if you pop it
Becomes,
and the Urzar comes out and he's like, what the fuck?
Goes from
I was just chilling in here.
goes from phylactery to flat tree.
Ah, ah, ah.
You could listen. You can try to do whatever you want.
How many people would? Well, we don't know how many people would go to the door if it is propped up with something that might look a bit suspicious.
Yeah, so the kind of way it works is that like you've got the downstairs kind of lobby part, and then there's a kind of room which is the internal security room, and then the vault door is in that room. So it is actually out of the way. So if you're holding the security room, there's no one outside that's going to just see it. But if anyone comes in, obviously they'll know there's something fishy going on because you'll be in there doing dodgy stuff potentially. But that's your choice.
Well, you could always do it, and then I could go out to the lobby, and Calcifer could stay in the security room. I can disguise myself as an employee and try.
Yeah, just put a cone down. So sorry, it's out of order. But...
Yes, I mean, we can try something. We can do that maybe. So yeah, let's. One of you think over the next couple of days of something we could put in. If it is the grimoire, then fine.
Yeah, make sure you have an Ivy's vest. Then no one will question you.
Nobody will question you. Next job. Figuring out the light pattern for the day. Two options. We either use one of the guards, but if they are asleep, then might not work. Or, which I think would be the more interesting and useful option, get someone to attend Farankar's daily meeting. I still like my idea of bringing in somebody with who as a Hinera as a cricket, because then she could stay in there after the meeting and maybe, I don't know, cause a bit of mischief.
Yeah, I feel like at least Farankar could probably will know. If did
I mean, she was quite a proficient magic user when you last fought her.
yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Well, I am no magician. If you think that is the case, then fine. But
He did
Is
seem
that
to
question-
almost rumble me when I was getting the information that first time.
Yeah.
Question as well of how much has she improved since we last saw her? Because there's is it a fair assumption that other people remain fairly static? Because like we're a lot stronger than we were last time we saw her. Like
Oh no, yeah. I
us
mean,
any one of us could just wreck the version of her that existed then.
yeah.
But-
I mean, there's a chance that she's progressed. She's been doing her own thing, and she has a lot of resources at hand.
well, what is a simpler option? Can we were going to suggest that somebody goes into the meeting. Cyan, maybe was it? As Domarine.
Yeah, Cyan is the one who's the most easily able to transform into Don Marine. Because the rest of you will need a hair for that.
Yeah.
But you know, like the rest of you could be someone else and still go to the meeting if you're high enough. High enough in the banking guild, not high enough.
Well, it sounds like I will be busy, so not me.
Yeah, so I could cast it at level 4.
But you're gonna need the key, right? Remember?
that is
So
good.
someone's gonna have to
At least
try and get that somehow. That's
I
at least
am also worried that if I go in there, she will know Don Marine better than anyone else. So
Yeah, I think that as well. You have to really get your acting up.
I have to get like. She would also like completely recognize if the voice was off. Like
But you could
straight
take-
away.
You take one of the potions.
Yeah, but we need one of the hairs, and we can't guarantee that one of the hairs on the ship is Don Marine's.
Yeah, you've got. I mean, you've got your legend points.
Be bold.
There'll be checks potentially.
Sorry.
Well, like even if you're disguised or not, like if you're fully disguised or not disguised fully as Don Marine, you're still gonna have to probably do a check to pretend to be him anyway.
No, sorry. I said, is he bald?
Oh, is he bald? No, he doesn't seem to be bald.
Oh, okay. In my head, he's like kind of fat and bald.
No,
Funny if
he's
the
he's
existence
quite...
of these like hair potions creates a meta of everyone just being bold.
Okay.
Yeah, no, he's kind of young, like sort of youngish, really. He's like maybe in his 30s. Quite handsome.
Oh, I imagined him as being kind of short and fat.
Yeah, so did I. And bald.
I might have to go back and see if that's how I described him initially, because it was a while.
My,
It
my,
was a
my,
while
ima-
ago.
I thought of
My-
him
my-
as kind
my
of
head-
lanky and thin.
Yeah, that's sort of how I.
yeah,
Very-
my vision was short, not fat, but like a little bit fat, like normal person in their 30s, and like thinning hair.
I mean, he might have thin hair. You've only ever seen him wearing a hat, I think. But he seems to.
Well,
have
that's why.
hair. Yeah, he's actually really bold, isn't he?
He's got a bald spot on the
He's
top.
really
He's not ready.
self-conscious.
He's not ready to commit yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're building up your really building up your backstory to really channel Don Marine.
Yeah, well, we'll see, won't we? How it goes. This is the Miana arc.
Imagine he just turns up
Imyana.
as this description. It's like, what? That looks nothing like. Who are you supposed to be? Like what?
I'm Don Marine. It was always like saw him
Oh,
differently.
you've shrunk and.
You just never see me at my good side.
I do need to go.
You need
in
to
a
go,
moment.
don't you, Matt? Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine. We can finish up here if you want. Like, just to carry on talking over the week, really. Is that good with everyone?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
with me.
sure.
Yeah,
Cool.
so we got up to the figure out the lighting bit. So if anyone
Yeah.
has time,
I mean the
And,
light. I mean the two lights is just there's a light outside, light inside, right?
Yeah, and they just both have to be right.
Yeah. I think if we're
They
in
do change. They do
communication,
change every now and
that's-
again, but yeah,
I think
they
that's
just
pretty
gotta be right.
trivial if we were in communication.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think
okay.
if we write down what we've got for our plan as well.
we have.
Right. Okay.
It's in the OneNote. There's a link in the chat.
Okay.
I do have another concern then. If
Are we recording still?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's.
Oh.
I'll sign us out.
See you later, everyone.
Bye.
See you next week.
Bye.
Right.
See you next week. Heist Roonies.
I like that much. I like that much better.